I banned my wife's Disney divorce friend's plugins from our house. My wife's friend Melissa showed up on a Sunday with 2 suitcases and a tote bag that clinked when she set it down. She's 49. She was leaving her husband Warren after 25 years to move to LA and try to get a job at Disneyland. Guest services, name tag, the whole thing. I thought it was a joke until she cried about it over dinner that first night. We told her she could stay as long as she needed. We've got a big house and a guest suite over the garage that mostly sits empty. It felt good to help someone who was clearly having the worst month of her life. By the second night, the house smelled different. Not bad exactly, just wrong, like a candle store had a yard sale in our hallway. By day 3, I knew why. Melissa had brought 6 plug-in air fresheners, the kind that screw straight into the outlet. 1 in the hall bathroom, 1 in my office, 2 on the upstairs landing, 2 more by the guest suite stairs. The scent was called Coconut Cabana, and it was strong enough that I could taste it in my coffee 2 rooms away. We don't do scented stuff in our house. 4 years ago, my allergist put me on a plan after sinus migraines kept putting me flat on the floor for a full day. We switched to fragrance-free detergent, baking soda instead of carpet powder, and air purifiers in almost every room. It took close to a year to get the house feeling calm. Now it smelled like a mall kiosk. On day 4, I brought it up as nice as I could. I told Melissa the room sprays were strong and asked if she'd mind keeping her door shut when she used them. She laughed a little and said, "Yeah, the plugins are pretty strong," like it was a compliment, not a problem she planned to fix. My wife Denise told me that night I was being too much, that Melissa was going through something huge and didn't need one more person telling her no. I said it was our house and our air and I wasn't asking for a lot. Denise said I could vent to her about it, but going straight to Melissa again would be crossing a line. I let it sit for a few days. The smell only got worse. By day 9, there was a new plug-in in the hall bathroom, stacked right next to the first, both running at once. I started getting headaches again for the first time in 3 years. On day 11, I went into the hall bathroom to grab a towel and noticed the baseboard by the vanity had gone soft under my thumb. I got down on the floor and pulled the little access panel under the sink open, the one for the shutoff valve. There was standing water in the cabinet floor, black mold crawling up the inside of the drywall, low, spreading toward the corner. The smell coming off it under all that Coconut Cabana was rot. I called Denise in and she went pale. We asked Melissa straight out if she knew anything about a leak. She got quiet, then admitted she'd noticed water pooling under the sink about 2 weeks earlier, right after she moved in. She said she wiped it up with a towel a few times and figured it would stop on its own. She didn't want to be the house guest who broke something 2 weeks into staying with us for free while her whole life was falling apart. So instead of telling us, she bought more plugins to cover the musty smell before it reached the hallway. I asked her how many plugins that ended up being. She said 8. I only found 6. We had a plumber out the next morning. The valve had been dripping slow for weeks, longer than Melissa let on, and the subfloor under the vanity had started to warp. Total for the valve, the drywall, and mold remediation came to just under $3,800. The plumber said another month and we'd have been looking at the joists. Denise didn't say a word about me being too much after that. She stood in the bathroom doorway with her arms crossed while the plumber pointed his flashlight at the black creeping up the wall, and I watched her face change in real time. That afternoon, I went through the house and pulled every plug-in I could find. 8 of them, not 6. The last 2 tucked behind the towels in the linen closet where I guess she was rotating them to keep the smell fresh. I put all 8 in a shoebox, taped a note to the lid that said "We're done with these," and left it on the kitchen counter. Melissa didn't argue. She didn't even look at the box. She packed her 2 suitcases and the hat box that same evening and called a rideshare instead of waiting for Denise to drive her to her sister's place across town. On her way out, she stopped at the door and told me she hoped I was happy now that I'd humiliated her over an accident. I told her the accident wasn't the leak. It was hiding it under 8 cans of Coconut Cabana while our subfloor rotted out from under us. She didn't have anything to say to that. The door shut behind her, and Denise carried the shoebox out to the trash herself an hour later without me even asking. I'm moving to Spotify. Search TurtStories and follow.